Hi, this is Phil Shapiro in Tacoma Park, Maryland. I wanted to show you today some videos that I've been watching. Some of them are very boring and some of them are really interesting. So I want to quickly go over some of the boring ones, but then I really want to spend time on the interesting ones. So let's take a look at some of the boring videos. This video over here, this TED Talk, is very boring. Enabling Students in a Digital Age by Charlie Reisinger in Lancaster, PA. So this video is very boring. It tells about how the school district, the Penn Manor School District, switched to open source software and they saved money. He goes on and explains that in the first year they saved $360,000. Well, that's chump change. $360,000, that's chump change. And this video is very boring. You're going to have to take my word for that. And I even regret watching it. I watched it about 20 times, but I do regret watching this video because it is so boring. Let me show you some other videos, though, that are much more interesting. So this video over here is from a company in Belgium called Turbulent Hydro. And they've invented what's called a microhydro device for generating electricity if you have a stream in your backyard or a small river or something like that. You can generate electricity without building a dam. Excuse my language. But let's take a quick look over here. So this is called Turbulent Micro. And so they've invented this device here that you can buy, and it takes just a few days to install it, and then it generates electricity. It's really cool. Here's the company's website over here. And all you need is 1.5 meters of water falling to generate electricity. So even in a location on the planet that's relatively flat, you could be generating electricity if you had some flowing water in sufficient quantity. The water's got to be in sufficient quantity. You can't have just a tiny stream. So here's the Turbulent website right here. Here it is, micro hydropower they call it. And it's also safe for fish. They claim it's safe for fish. And that's really neat. So I went looking to try and find if someplace in the East Coast there might be a mill for sale. So in the early days of the Industrial Revolution, people set up a mill. A mill was a sawmill for cutting lumber or a grist mill for grinding grain. So I want to see, is there a mill for sale someplace that you could set up? That a mill is like a house right on the river. So you see these in New England quite a bit. I saw it up in when I was visiting in Massachusetts not long ago. You get to see these mills on the river. So I found this over here. And this is a mill for sale in Lititz, Pennsylvania. So it's a gorgeous mill. Here's a video about it. And so you can buy this old mill and you could set up a micro hydropower thing. Now, Lititz, Pennsylvania is a completely separate part of Pennsylvania from Lancaster. And so this is just theoretically of interest. It's not at all close to Lancaster. Well, wait a second. It is close. It is close. Lititz is close to Lancaster. It's about 10 miles away. So that is kind of interesting. This is close to, so I wonder how much it sells for this kind of, if you wanted to buy a grist mill, how much does it sell for? Well, over here, it was for sale in 2017. I think the asking price was $300,000, but I don't know where in the world could you come up with $300,000. Who has $300,000? It's, $300,000. I don't know anybody with $300,000, but it's sold for $230,000, and so that's pretty interesting. And the property comes with some old houses and stuff, but you could generate electricity from the river. It's kind of like what they call a run. I think it actually flows from Lititz down towards Lancaster. So Lititz is maybe 10 miles upstream from Lancaster. Now, I got to thinking, so say the school district wanted to use some of the money that they saved by using open source software. Say they wanted to buy this grist mill, and even though the grist mill is sold, the current owners might want to partner with the school district, where the school district installs one of these turbulent micro hydropower systems, and then the electricity could be shared with the owners of the grist mill, help them pay their mortgage, the electricity, and because when you generate electricity, you can sell it back to the grid, right? So I got to thinking, well, maybe some of the electricity from the hydropower could power electric school buses. And so I was reading some news about buses. You don't often hear about electric buses, but they're building a lot of electric buses over in China. And last week, I saw this article on Bloomberg, Bloomberg.com. Electric buses are hurting the oil industry. Let's scroll down just a little bit. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Let's see. And here's an interesting quote. The numbers are staggering. China had about 99% of the 385,000 electric buses on the road worldwide in 2017. Every 5 weeks, Chinese city adds 9,500 zero-emission transporters, the equivalent of London's entire working fleet. So that's interesting. They're building a lot of electric buses in China. And presumably, the more they build, then the cost of the buses could also go down, so that it becomes more and more affordable. And I wonder if the people who are the taxpayers over here in the Penn Manor School District, the taxpayer in the Penn Manor School District, I wonder if they would prefer not paying for fuel for the school buses. Because once you have the hydropower, that could pay for some or potentially all of the fuel for a school bus. Now, there is a capital investment in the school bus, but at some time, every school district is going to be replacing their school buses. And there is a capital investment in purchasing the hydropower system from Turbulent, but it's kind of a one-time thing. Those Turbulent things, I think they have a life of 20 or 40 years, just churning out 24 hours a day electricity. And I admire the engineers over at Turbulent, the folks who invented this stuff. They're some very smart, interesting engineers. And they have some videos on their website. They're setting up some test installations in Chile and I believe in Belgium and some other places in Europe maybe. So you can go watch their videos and see their stuff. So anyway, this is the boring and interesting videos that I've been watching, and I hope you learned something new. This is Phil Shapiro. Bye.